In this quick video, we're gonna be debunking how this shop, this shop, this shop, this shop, and this shop have all done over 45,000 sales as brand new Etsy shops. They all open after 2023 had already began and have managed to do this much sales volume in under a year. In this video, we are going to really be analyzing and listing out what the core attributes, because even though all of these shops are spanning across multiple different niches, we can see a common trend of core attributes throughout each store. And this is really what is setting the tone for the next rendition or the next generation of successful Etsy shops moving forward. With that being said, let's get into today's episode. All right, so let's just talk about what are some common traits amongst all of these stores. If I go into the E-Rank tool, I actually have this option in here to go into your competition and hit top sellers. Now, when you come into top sellers, you have all of your niches on the left side and you can select what year the shop opened. So I'm gonna select 2023. And then you can categorize by which shops are making the most sales based off the year that the shop opened. This is a really valuable tool to see what shops are really pushing a lot of sales in a short amount of time. So if I were you and you had a specific niche in mind, I would come in here and pick out your niche specifically and sort it by 2023, so the newest shops that are making the most sales, and do the same type of analysis that we are going to conduct today. Let's just look and analyze at some of these images here and analyze what commonalities we're seeing amongst all of these shops. So when we analyze amongst all of these shops, I'm not going to showcase the brand name. Obviously, you can do the research for yourself, and I'm sure you can find these shops yourself, but just to help protect these shops a little bit, we're just not going to share the store name. But when we analyze here, just off the bat, when we look at the first commonality amongst all of these shops, you see one very, very common trend amongst all of just their main images before we look at anything else. And what that is building a cohesive brand vibe. So the brand vibe amongst these set of images compared to these set of images, compared to these set of images, compared to these, and compared to these is that everything is really cohesive and branded together. This is an identical brand vibe that is very different than this brand vibe. Obviously, they're selling different products, but the point is, if I were to put, a shirt like this in a shop like this, the brand vibe would be clashing. And so when you think about who is really going to do well on Etsy, Etsy is obviously favoring brands that are building exactly that, real brands that are even maybe identifiable outside the platform. That means that your imagery, your graphics, your videography, your fonts, your logos, your color schemes, everything that makes up a brand vibe, when you put all those attributes together or all those assets together, they make sense and flow together. Now, if you have never built a brand before or done graphic design or photography or anything like that, sometimes we're not the best fit for that job in our company when we're first starting out, because we just have never done it before. A really good place to start is Canva and exploring Canva templates and discovering your brand colors by making something what's called a mood board. And your mood board is going to give you your fonts and your color schemes and the inspiration for what your mock-ups or your images are going to look like for your brand. And the rule of thumb here is that after you create this mood board really sets the tone for all of your other brand assets that you're launched. So every single image, even some of like your product fonts, all of those things are cohesive and make sense when they are launched in your stores. It's kind of like if you go into a store like Nike versus a store like Free People. If you pick up a Nike shirt and a Nike shoe and a Nike hat and you put those three products together, even though they're selling different products, when you put them together, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense that this would exist in a Nike store. Versus, if you go to Free People and you pick up a Free People shirt, a Free People sweater, pants, maybe an earring, and you put those products together, you would be like, oh wow, these make sense that these would exist in a Free People store. Now, if you put Free People clothes inside of a Nike store, there would be a conflicting of brand vibes is the easiest way to put it. What we're gonna see, even outside of my example here, is that there the main stores that are really taking off fast on Etsy have this maintained cohesiveness throughout their brand vibe. Guys, if you've been enjoying this video so far, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. This helps my channel so much, and it also just motivates me to keep putting out more content. So make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Number 2 is a competitive pricing strategy. Now, pricing strategies are different amongst different niches. So it's really valuable that we're making this video because we're gonna see that there is a common trend throughout each one of these shops. Now, every single one has a daily sale running. So you can see 50% off, and there's a sale here. There's also a sale here. There's also a sale here, here, and here. Now, when you click on each one of these listings, we will see that they have an ending badge, so an ending soon badge. Let's check on this one as well. If we click on this, same thing with this one. If we click on it, we see 75% off sale is ending in 9 hours. The rule of thumb with your pricing strategy, outside of maybe considering doing a daily sale strategy, is that you want to be competitive per your niche. Similarly to how we found, random top performing shops on Etsy for 2023, I would implore you to go find 8 to 10 competitor shops that directly compete with you that are pushing a good amount of sales volume and see what their pricing strategy is. And you want to either meet or beat where they are actually at. Number 3 is personalization. So if your products are a good fit for personalization, you are 100% going to want to figure out how to get that into your models. As you can see here, this store only has 24 listings on 70,000 sales in less than 1 year. But the key here is that they are doing personalization on all of these products. Same thing with this guy over here. And so with these guys, they're probably buying the machinery to simply engrave personalized names, sayings, whatever it is on their items. These types of models are absolutely killing it. Moreover, if you are a print-on-demand shop, having personalization is almost not even a question anymore. If you are using Printify to print your items for any type of POD shop, you're 100% going to want to use a tool like Hello Custom to make sure that you can offer personalization, and it's pretty much automated when you use their system. So when you use Hello Custom, you can sell a shirt like this, where basically they have the option to put in their name or if it's a gift, their friend's name. And then on the back end of Hello Custom, there's no manually having to place the name and download the file, upload a file, or anything like that. In Hello Custom, it's just a matter of approving the design or just making sure that it was input correctly, and make sure capitalization and spelling was done right. And then once you approve it, it automatically goes to Printify and gets fulfilled for you. So you don't actually have to do anything manual, but you can still offer personalization. Hello Custom is absolutely killing it right now. Make sure you click their link in their description. They're a growing company and they're launching new capabilities all the time. Make sure that if you are doing print on demand, you must be offering personalization. Easiest value that you can add to your already existing listings. And again, it's just going to increase your sales, add more value, create a more competitive moat around your print-on-demand business model. Number 4 is bundling. So it's no surprise that these shops have a lot of listings that are showcasing multiple items in the main image. So what people are seeing is $5 and they're seeing 4 items for sale, or they're seeing $7.80 with multiple colors for that product. Same thing on this one. Same thing on this one, same thing on this one. Now, when you actually go ahead and click on the item, you're not getting 2 boxes, you're actually only getting 1, but you have the option to buy obviously as many as you need once you're actually on the listing, or in one purchase, you're getting more than just one thing for the displayed price. Bundling is an absolutely huge way to increase your average order value, to beat your competition, add more value into your listings, even going the other direction. If you can upsell your customer from going from a cheaper offer to an upward offer, that's great. Same thing in the other direction. You have a really high ticket offer, figure out ways where you can offer cheaper things to sell in the same listings so you can capitalize on getting those low hanging fruit or people that don't want to spend the max amount. There's always gonna be someone who wants the most expensive thing, but you want to have a lower tier offer for someone to at least get their foot in the door to get to know you and check out your products for the first time. Obviously, the best way that you can do this is by making sure that your biggest offer or your most expensive offer, there's some incentive. They're getting more for less, or the quality gets heightened on the highest ticket thing. There's gotta be a reason for them to spend more money. If you just make it, if you're selling 3 shirts and then the highest pack of 3 is the same basically price per unit as the one, that's not really sexy. They're buying 3, maybe make the price a little bit cheaper to make that incentive a sexier offer for them. Number 5 is the number of listings they have per their niche. Now, this is a really interesting thing to look at, and it's not always about just who gets to 1,000 listings the fastest or who has the most listings. It's really niche contingent. It depends on the niche, depends on the quality of your listings, it depends on the value propositions of your listings, but the number of listings is something worthwhile looking at. And so if you're coming into the space and you see that this shop that did 68,000 sales on digital downloads, they only have 200 listings, which in my opinion isn't that much for a digital download space. But if you come in here and you look at what they're doing and you're like, wow, I could probably come in here and meet or beat them with that, then your goal is to come in with coming in with about the same amount of listings. Same thing over here. In less than a year, they're already up to over 1,000 listings. So for this niche specifically, we're setting standards for basically what we would want to hit as well. And again, each niche is different. We want to check out the number of listings for the niche that you go into specific. And finally, number 6, the core attribute is the actual quality of the listing. So the quality of the listing, when you click on the listing, you obviously have a beautiful main image here, but do we have a video? Do we have graphics in the image? Do we have lifestyle imagery and just plain background photography imagery, right? What is all the core attributes of the listings? What is the perceived value based off the quality? And a lot of that perception comes from having competitive imagery and videography. So can we meet or beat them? This person does an amazing job with the cohesive branding and the bright colors in this listing. And also just one thing to note here, amongst a lot of these shops, we see kind of a recurring trend. They keep it pretty simple. They're using a lot of just the same mock-ups or the same type of imagery for every single type of listing. So sometimes we want to go crazy and we want to use all these different mock-ups and all these different things, and we think that everything has to be different. But in reality, it's the people that are just keeping it simple and high quality that are doing really, really high sales volume. Like a lot of these mock-ups are the same mock-ups being used over and over again, but those are the mock-ups that are working. Those are the mock-ups that are trending. But again, it's maintaining that cohesiveness. And finally is Etsy ads. To be competitive, you need to learn how to run a business with a marketing budget included. If I pull out the top seller for each one of these brands and I copy and paste the title into the Etsy search bar, you're gonna see that every single one of those top performing listings has ad revenue behind it. Guys, I have full in-depth trainings about Etsy ads, why they're important, how you should learn now better than later, how to scale to profitability with your ads. There's so many things, so many benefits, so many moat building tactics come out from running Etsy ads when it comes to being competitive. Make sure you cue those full trainings next. Thank you guys so much for staying until the end, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye guys.